You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
Feeling fresh as hell.
Well, you guys better enjoy it. The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Do this together. Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Well, good morning, Bolt guys and Bolt gals. Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wooldog, sitting with my buddy, Kyle the Coach Duggan. How the heck you doing, buddy?
Doing good. It's fun doing these episodes every once in a while where we switch up the crew.
Yeah.
Get to bond a little bit with my buddy Wooldog with Kevin out of the picture.
Well,
Dominating
at least
conversation.
This time we're well aware that Kevin is not going to be on the
He's
show.
safe.
There's no stress going where is he? I don't know.
Yeah.
If you thought that was a bit last week, it was not. I promise you, we were literally going, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But this week we know that Kevin is at Universal Studios right now, and he is about to go into a scary situation. Let's take a look to see. He sent us a quick little video with him and wife. Let's see what they're up to.
All right, guys, I want to apologize. Not going to be able to join you this evening on this fine episode. You're in good hands, but I am here, Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, with my beautiful wife.
Hi.
And we are going to go have a good time and enjoy the horror movies. And guess what? Sunday's going to be a horror movie. What happens in horror movies?
Bloodbath.
Pirates get murdered. So let's go kick some ass. All right, love you guys.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bloodbath. So yes, they're about to go into Halloween Horror Nights, and hopefully they don't get too scared. But yes, I'm expecting this Raiders week to be a horror night for the Raiders, folks. And this episode, we've got lots to talk about here. We've got a Craig experience and a Bolt beat lined up, and there's been a lot of news that's been chumming the
drama,
waters.
dare I say drama.
There's been some drama. There's been some glimmers of hope as well. So, and let's just no more subterfuge. Let's start off here at the top. Talk about.
I do have to mention, we already talked about this, but my beard is gone. So if you're watching on YouTube, I look different. It's still me. I was at flag football. I was at flag football practice tonight. All my kids, they're like 5, 6, and 7-year-olds, are like, you don't look like Coach Kyle. I'm like, shut up and get in line. It's me. Does that sound like Coach Kyle? So it is me. Me and Adam were talking. It's like we're not farmers, but what I heard was you rotate your crops to keep the soil healthy. That's what I'm doing. I rotated the crops. It's off season for the beard right now. It was just starting to feel a little bit over the top. So took a break. My kids
the
aren't
fall
happy
look
about it
right
either.
now.
Yeah.
Two things you can expect in the fall is pumpkin spice lattes at Starbucks and Kyle the Coach Duggan trimming the beard.
Yep.
So
exactly.
All right. Diving into Chargers news. Ryan DePaul tweeted out, "Good morning." Well, good morning, Ryan. Justin Herbert has 23 games of 100-plus passer rating since he entered the league against players with a minimum of 30 attempts, more than any QB on earth.
I like the way that's put.
Yeah.
Because you could easily just say, you could say in the NFL, but just in the whole wide world, he's the best.
The whole ding-dang world, yes. Justin Herbert has 23 games of 100-plus passer rating. How nice is that?
Patrick Mahomes, big fat second place with 22.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good list. Patrick Mahomes second, Josh Allen third with 21. Aaron Rodgers is fourth with 20.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert just is the guy. It's crazy the amount of stats, the records that just keep flying out of that last game.
It is. And I mean, it's just another reason, folks, that this guy is so special for all the haters out there, all the people that don't like Justin Herbert or think that he's not special. Just one more reason to remind you that he is pretty dang special. And another reason that he is special, Justin Herbert is
another record.
Yeah, one more record. One more. The fridge is covered right now with A+ from Justin Herbert. And here's one more we're going to put on there. Justin Herbert is the first player ever with 300+ passing yards versus the blitz. Not just sitting back there with all day to throw. Versus
300 yards is hard to do at all.
Yeah.
He threw for over 400, but 300 of those was against the blitz.
Yeah.
That's
blitzed
pretty crazy.
They Vikings blitzed on 40 of 47 attempts. So first player ever.
I mean, it wasn't better when they didn't blitz. So there was 7 attempts they didn't blitz, and he threw for over 100 yards on those 7 attempts.
Exactly.
Things didn't get better. It was just a dominant performance against the blitz, not blitzing. They were just like, I don't know what to do. Everyone go try to tackle Justin Herbert, I guess.
Well, I mean, that's one of his better qualities is that he's almost better when he's on the move. Whenever he's being chased down, somehow he gets more accurate, which is counterintuitive. I'm sure if you asked any quarterback, but for some reason in Justin Herbert's situation, he just throws the ball better. So,
well, and it's kudos to our offensive line picking up.
Oh, the
all
offensive
of those
line. Yeah.
It was not just like there's a lot of pressures there. They were not just lining up and coming straight ahead. Those guys were having to swap blocks, and our running backs picking up that extra guy or two that were coming. So that was a dominant offensive effort on Sunday.
Big time. And, I'm going to squeeze one more little Post-it note on the fridge. It's not in the outline, but I did see this today. Justin Herbert, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Justin Herbert is the only QB in the league right now that has not turned the ball over, hasn't fumbled the ball, hasn't thrown an interception. Every other quarterback in the league right now has at least thrown an interception or fumbled the ball. Justin Herbert is the only QB right now that has not.
Great stat.
God.
Come on.
Love him. I mean,
love him.
I love him. And one more accolade to throw out. Finally, Herbert stepped down to just, he's like covered in medals and holding all these trophies. Step aside for just a second. Let somebody else share the spotlight. Keenan Allen was surprised by both Nickelodeon and his daughters. If anybody saw the video, his daughters came out and drenched my man in slime because he is the Nickelodeon MVP for this week, and understandably so, for every record that he broke, for the game that he had, both catching touchdowns, throwing touchdowns, yards he was getting, receptions he had. They're like, yeah, I think he should probably be the MVP this week. So congrats, Mr. Keenan Allen. I think in the recent years, Keenan Allen's won it. Justin Herbert's won it.
Yeah. Austin
Eckler, I believe, won it once. I can recall seeing his bald head get covered in slime.
It's a good image. Yeah, it's like it does feel like a little bit like Keenan's dominant day got overshadowed by the Dolphins putting up 70 points a little bit.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's rightfully so. I mean, I've never seen anyone score 70 points in an NFL football game.
No.
But if not for that storyline, I think Nickelodeon got it right. They picked up what we were putting down.
At least Nickelodeon got it right. I think FedEx didn't let Justin Herbert be the FedEx Air Player of the Week. It went to Tua, which is, again,
Tua played like half a game.
I know. Like, he didn't even play the full game. What are you doing?
Yeah. He won by 50 points. I don't know if that's like, oh, you're a great quarterback, or if it's just like, oh, the Broncos suck so bad.
Yeah. How many times did the Broncos blitz? Tell me that stat. Tell me that.
No, nobody cares.
No.
Broncos are so bad.
Nobody cares.
We have to beat them.
All right. Well, let's get into the drama. Let's get into the nitty-gritty, as they say. There have been a few tweets floating around. This is all today, right? I'm not imagining this. This all just kind of happened today.
Yeah. Well, it started today's Thursday as we're recording. On Wednesday at the first practice is when this news started to break.
Okay.
When the reporters finally had access to players post the game. And that's when JC started to divulge some of the information.
So let's start off with the first tweet that we have here. This is from Dove Kleiman. And this is from, what's the date on this bad boy?
This was Wednesday.
Well, so actually, this is from today. The tweet is stamped from today at 11:18 a.m.
Okay.
Dove Kleiman tweeted out, update on Chargers cornerback J.C. Jackson, who recently had an arrest warrant issued against him, says he's confused by the team benching him via Bridget Condon. said, I don't know what else do they expect me to do. I told coach, what else do you expect me to do? I've been doing everything. I came back from my injury pretty fast. I've been putting in extra work after practice, even in meeting rooms. The DBs, every Friday, we all meet to do extra film and being a good teammate. So I don't know what it is. I'm still kind of confused and still don't have answers to why I'm getting treated like this. Now, yeah, when you read that, you're just like, whoa.
Yikes.
Whoa. Like
that makes it doesn't make me like when that one came out, it didn't make me feel like, oh, JC Jackson, what are you doing? It was like, Coach Staley, you've not talked to the guy. Like you paid this guy millions and millions of dollars. You don't activate him, and you didn't have a conversation as to why he's not on the active roster. That to me is like, that's pretty shocking. What are we doing here?
Right. Now, to be fair, this is all from JC Jackson.
Right.
I don't think Brandon Staley's commented on it at all. So, so that's the first thing that comes out, and you go, okay, so either there's some miscommunication between, coach and JC Jackson, or he's genuinely confused. Like it feels like he's throwing coach kind of under the bus, which is really surprising given the situation.
Well, coach did respond to a reporter on the JC Jackson thing.
Yes.
He simply said that he needs to be more consistent in all aspects.
Correct.
He's like, he needs to be more consistent. And I don't know, like you played crappy for like several games now. Like you haven't played good in a Charger uniform.
Right.
So if that's just what we're saying is you're not playing good enough, okay. But it feels like there's got to be something else going on, because it goes from we're going to rotate all three guys because I still don't know who the guy is, to all of a sudden after a couple practices, JC, you're not 3, you're not number 4, you're not even active on the roster.
You don't even
anymore.
have any pads on right now.
No, like you're not even our backup. It's not like, oh, are you the starter? It's like, oh no, you're not even the backup or the backup's backup. You're off the team. So there's something else had to have happened, and he can't be that oblivious to whatever it was.
Exactly. I cannot imagine that that's the situation. So, and again, to be fair, JC Jackson suffered an injury last season that a lot of people were just like, well, he's done. That's the end of his career. Not going to play football ever again. The guy rehabbed, came back, and we were all extremely excited to see him come back. And he just wasn't performing as well as he could be. Now, I give him the benefit of the doubt because, yes, he suffered a major injury to the point that nobody thought he could come back. He did, but you're not performing quite at the level that we need you to.
Yeah.
So it's understandable if they're going to be like, okay, well, you're going to be a healthy and active because you're not where you should be. But as Daniel Popper tweeted out back on September 8th, JC Jackson said, I'm not putting no limit on my knee. I'm ready. So you got JC Jackson saying he's ready. He's not on the injury report. So it's not
not once all season.
Not even right now. If you pull up the injury report right now, he's not on.
He's full participant.
Yeah. So what is the reason? Are you lying about your injury? Is this really affecting you more than you're letting on? Or are you just not getting the game plan, or what is it? Is it a mental thing?
Yeah.
So coming out with that quote against coach was surprising, but then it came out again today. More interaction on the interview from Bridget Condon, who said JC Jackson says he believes his performance struggles early on have been because he's not 100% healthy yet. That's exactly what it is. I'm not 100%, he said. I know that the doctors know that. I'm not 100%, so I'm doing my best. We're giving the team what they want. I'm doing my best, and I don't know what they expect me to do.
Your best isn't enough right now, so we
expect
active.
You to play, man. Like you're not on the injury report.
I expect you to be really, really good at football because we paid you a buttload of money to be a Pro Bowl corner.
Yeah,
and that's what the expectation is. Like, what do you mean you don't know what they want from you? They want you to play better.
Yeah,
there's not really been a whole lot that you've done that's been great since putting that bolt on your helmet.
Right.
So It's just all getting more and more diluted and confusing. And then you have this arrest warrant out that hasn't really been addressed, or what's going on with that. It's just weird.
It's becoming a distraction at this point,
100%.
almost even more so than Austin Eckler's situation in the offseason. So
yeah, and a couple episodes I mentioned, everyone was calling for Staley's head. I don't think it makes sense to fire a coach midseason.
Right.
But if this thing continues to evolve in the way it does, and if we don't continue to win football games, this could be that, oh, we've lost the locker room. These guys don't trust coach. There's crazy drama. JC's like, are you going to cut JC Jackson, who you've given all this money to and have dead cap space?
Mm-hmm.
And then coach, if we don't keep winning, like, I don't know. I think this adds a whole nother wrench into the whole Coach Staley element.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he dresses up on Sunday.
Yeah,
I mean,
very interesting.
It's an opportunity for him to step back up because, like Coach said, it's a week-to-week situation. If I don't think you're ready week to week, then guess what? You're going to be a healthy scratch. So we just have to wait and see. I mean, there's really no way to say, oh, he's definitely going to play, or I don't know if he will, because now of all that's been said, I don't know if coach would necessarily want him out there, or now that it's coming to light that, hey, I'm not 100%. What do you mean you're not 100%?
Yeah.
Like, why are we putting you out there if you're not 100%?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Like, and what does that mean? Like, is there something that's lingering with him? Like, is there something hurting him when he's playing? Or has his ceiling now just gone down to like 90% is his 100%? He'll
never be 100%.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like, or 80 or 70. Like, that's his ceiling now is 70%. He can't get any higher than that. Right. I don't know. So we just have to wait and see how it all pans out against the Raiders this Sunday. NFL Films put out a whole nother video talking about the Chargers against the Raiders, who they think is going to win. And right now, everybody thinks the Chargers are not just going to win, but win pretty handedly. Like, there's some of these that are like 2 touchdown score wins above.
Yeah.
What
there's
the
a 28-8 prediction.
Yeah, there's a 30-20. Like, it's really, I mean, I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm a little scared whenever the whole world.
Yeah, I don't like being the favorite. I want the underdog every time.
Yeah.
It seems like every time that pendulum swings and we become the favorite, something wonky happens. I'm not putting that juju out there.
No.
Because I think we're going to get the dub. But it does feel weird seeing everyone pick the Chargers.
No, I think the Chargers absolutely have every opportunity to win this game against the Raiders. Looking around Twitter, Fernando Ramirez tweeted out, Chargers announced that they have placed wide receiver Mike Williams on IR and have signed wide receiver Simi Fehoko off the Steelers practice squad. We mentioned that on the previous episode. That was brand spanking new Charger Chat news. We love it when that happens. And then they have also signed safety AJ Finley on the practice squad. I know they released him at some point. It's so weird to me how like they have to play this like chess game of like, okay, you're released. Okay, you're back. Okay, now you're on the practice squad. Okay, you're released again. Okay, now you're back. Like, that's gotta be so frustrating for the players to just be like, do I have a home right now? Like, what am I doing?
This Simi Fehoko pickup, that's like a break glass in case of emergency type of deal. I don't foresee him even seeing the field. He might be inactive this first game, but then we go into a bye and you don't know if Jalen Guyton comes off the IR. Now Simi, we signed him. He was inactive for one game, sat around, and now he's back, gone, cut, you know?
Right.
So it's like, it's for those guys that are those bubbles on rosters, man, that's a tough gig.
Yeah, agreed. Daniel Popper tweeted out, Austin Eckler quoted saying, when this ankle is ready, it's ready. If it's tomorrow, if it's next week, then so be it. It's not necessarily, hey, there's a bye. If I can play this game, I'm going to go out there and help the team. What do you take from that?
I guess there's truth to that, but it's not going to be 100%. So you're not like, what are you going to play out there if it's 90%, even though you have a bye next week where you could get it to 95 to 100? I just don't believe that. I know that the fact that there's an off week next week plays a part and is a factor into him playing. You don't want to come out and say that. Obviously, you're not going to tell the Raiders that he's not playing because he's a big time playmaker and it changes our offense. But I don't see a world where he plays. I mean, I would be so excited for him to play. But with 13 games after the bye, I think it's a take your medicine, get fully healthy, because we got 13 consecutive weeks here that we got to go play football.
Exactly. I agree. I think, I mean, it's going to be based off of how his practices go, how explosive he can be. Can he run as fast as he can, or is he having to kind of be ginger with it or anything like that? So it would be exciting to see, because, man, Josh Kelly had a hard time this last week. I would love to see some more rushing yards than than 12.
We threw the ball 50 times, dude. It's like that just wasn't part of the game plan whatsoever. And they had 7 guys standing on the line. You're not gonna run the ball against that.
No, and I mean, I know we talked about like how you get a high passing game that kind of opens up the run game for them to kind of get it going, but boy, they just could not get it going no matter how hard they tried. And then from Stephen Hagland, our buddy over at Guilty as Charged, tweeted out, through 3 weeks, the Chargers defense ranks 18th in pressure percentage, 15th in red zone touchdown percentage, 15th in rushing yards allowed per game, and 13th in takeaways per game. The explosive play element is basically the only thing keeping this unit from being league average, at least statistically.
So that's what Kevin was begging for. He was just begging for right in the middle of the pack with our offense.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what the solution is to the big plays. I don't get it, because everything that our defense is built around is stopping the big plays, and we can't stop the big plays. So I don't know how you change or fix that except for adjustment in personnel, or I guess adjustment in something's got to change, because what we're doing is not getting it done with those big explosive plays. It's not like we're gonna start playing less explosive players. Every team's got one, so I don't know what the solution is, but something has to be tweaked.
Yeah. The weird thing so far with this season, I think one of the biggest glaring, I don't want to call it an issue, but just something that I'm surprised, is that through 3 weeks, Khalil Mack has been quiet.
Yeah.
That's been really surprising to me. I mean, I know that he's getting double teamed, much like Joey Bosa when he's on the line. But I mean, at least Joey's breaking through. Khalil Mack has been very quiet. So I'm hoping this game against the frickin' Raiders, his previous team, lights a fire under this guy, and he gets 2 or 3 of those bad boys. Looking on the defensive side, we've been handing out a lot of accolades to the offensive players, but there's a defensive player who we talked about briefly last week, rookie Tuli Tuipulotu, who has just really been catching the eyes of everybody on Twitter. And watching some of those replays, some of the ferociousness that this guy plays with, just throwing people like they're rag dolls. And these are full-grown men.
He's a 21-year-old kid.
21-year-old kid that's just like, just get out of my way. Goodbye. There is a stat here that players with 10 tackles, 5 QB hits, and multiple tackles for loss in their first 3 career games since QB hits began being even tracked back in 2008. You've got Joey Bosa. Hey, he's on our team. Yeah. Miles Garrett in 2017.
Not on our team.
Not on our team. Micah Parsons in 2021. Not on our team.
Not on our team.
And then Tuipulotu.
He's on our team.
Interesting. That is how good this rookie has been in the games that he's played so far. He's only played in 3 games. He's already gotten
in the first game. He barely had any real playing time at all. It's been these last 2 games that all of his production has come from.
Yeah, ever since Joey had to go to a snap count.
Yep.
It's been his opportunity to go out there and make some plays, and boy, he's really seized it, and that has been so fun to watch. And to add on top of that, Tuli Tuipulotu leads all rookie edge rushers in pressures, sacks, and run stops through the first 3 weeks. So all the other edge rushers drafted before him have not put up the same numbers as this second round pick.
Yep.
What a stud.
Absolute monster. I'm so excited to continue to watch him play, dude.
I don't know. Like, so fun to watch, man.
We hadn't taken a pass rusher. Everyone was like, pass rusher in the first round, pass rusher in the first round. That was like the whole offseason is we need that next guy to be the guy. I guess they didn't know Thule was going to be the guy in the second round.
Yeah, he was sitting around twiddling his thumbs going, I wonder who's going to pick me.
Yeah.
And it's the Chargers, my friend.
So he has more production than number 7 overall pick Tyree Wilson that the Raiders tried to pick up.
Look at that. Little Thules. All right. Well, let's look over at the injury report. It's a bit longer than I think we all wanted it to be. There are some surprising names that we saw on here, but I think understandable that they're surprises. Joey Bosa still dealing with hamstring/toe injury.
Toss the toe in there.
Yes, I got to throw the turf toe, I'm assuming. He hasn't practiced Wednesday or Thursday, but I assume he'll rest up and be okay. Austin Eckler got limited practices in Wednesday and Thursday. So he's out there. He's running drills. So we'll find out if that means that he plays on Sunday. Time will tell. Gerald Everett dealing with an illness, undisclosed illness, has not practiced Wednesday or Thursday. And he's not the only one dealing with that. Center Corey Linsley also dealing with an illness, has not practiced Wednesday or Thursday. So hopefully these guys just had a bad burger in Minnesota and they'll get over it and come back on Sunday ready to go.
Yeah.
Alohi Gilman dealing with a heel injury.
Dude, he smacked his head in that game. How was he?
I know.
I would have thought concussion.
And not on his heel either.
No.
So I don't know. I don't know what the heel injury is. He played
very
through
specific.
All of that game.
That is
very
weird.
Specific.
Not just foot.
The heel. And he has not so much so that he hasn't practiced Wednesday or Thursday. I'm hoping that that's just veteran rest.
Especially with Derwin James, the way he looked on the sideline at the end of that game.
Mm-hmm.
If you're down Derwin and Alohi, that could get scary quick.
That could be very scary. Because yes, Derwin James is also one that has not practiced Wednesday or Thursday, dealing with a hamstring injury. Another name we haven't heard about since week 1, Eric Kendricks, dealing with his hamstring injury, has been spotted on the field with limited practice. Great to see. I'm going to say Deanie Leonard because that's what they called him on the mic'd up. Deanie Leonard was not on the report on Wednesday, but then
got hurt at practice.
Got hurt at practice with a hamstring, but still got a limited practice in. So I don't know if that means like he was practicing Thursday and then got hurt, and they're like, well, we'll chalk it up as a limited because he was practicing before he got hurt, right? And then Kenneth Murray had a groin injury. Did not practice Wednesday, but got limited in on Thursday.
That doesn't seem like it's going to be something serious. I mean,
I hope
the last play of the game, he was in. He laid out, made a pick, got up, loving everybody. You know,
yeah.
So it must have been something that just flared up after the adrenaline went down, and hopefully it's not something that's very severe at all. It keeps him out of the game.
Yeah, and same thing goes for Rashawn Slater, who is dealing with an ankle injury. But getting limited practices in Wednesday and Thursday. So hopefully that's nothing to be too concerned about.
Tape it up. Call it good.
The Raiders, looking over at them, the big question mark with this team right now is their quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, who suffered a concussion and was put into concussion protocol. Initially did not practice Wednesday, but has gotten a limited practice in on Thursday. So question marks for whether or not he will be playing.
That's part of concussion protocols. You got to get out there, run around, see if the symptoms flare back up.
Right.
So it doesn't feel like we're going to know at all who the quarterback is for the Raiders until that day, game day. And the only other options are Brian Hoyer or rookie Aiden O'Connell. So it's going to change. That changes the game plan, I would feel like, pretty significantly if you don't have Garoppolo out there. So I guess it's have 2 game plans and figure out who's playing quarterback.
Have 2 folders, plan A and plan B.
Yep.
Just know which one you need to bring out. The other big name, Max Crosby, showed up on the list with a knee injury, limited practice Wednesday, but did not practice Thursday.
headed in the wrong direction.
Yeah, you're going the wrong way, Max. I mean, right way for us, wrong way for you if you want to get better.
Yeah.
So that'll be something to keep an eye on as well.
Especially with them already being down Chandler Jones, all the stuff that's kind of been going on that we've seen on social media with stuff that he's dealing with. He's not going to be playing at all. So, man, they are hurting out there at that pass rush position, which Max Crosby to me is the one Raider that I actually like. I hope he doesn't ruin this game for us.
Yeah, agreed.
Him on defense, Devontae Adams on offense. Those are the two guys that it's like they could take over the game. If he's not able to play, that's huge.
That would be very big. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they've also got cornerback Chicorian Bennett, who got a limited practice in. Linebacker Curtis Bolton has not practiced Wednesday or Thursday. Defensive end Malcolm Kuntz wasn't on the report Wednesday and then showed up with a groin injury, limited practice Thursday. Safety Roderick Teamer, former Charger, got a limited practice in Wednesday, but did not practice Thursday, dealing with an Achilles injury. And defensive tackle Byron Young, dealing with an ankle injury, wasn't on the report Wednesday, but showed up on Thursday. So,
yeah, their big names are Jimmy Garoppolo and Max Crosby.
Yeah,
we got to see what happens with those guys because we have quite a few big names on our injury report. I'm hoping that most of them are just little dings, getting them ready to go. But I am glad this is not a game on a short week that was being played tonight because that would have been an ugly affair.
It would have been. Absolutely. Yeah. Looking at this Raiders team, I mean, honestly, their only win so far this season was a 1-point win against a Broncos team who just lost 20-7. Yeah. So, everybody else, the Bills, they lost pretty handily too, lost by 28 points, and the Steelers lost by 5. So,
but their offense this season has put up 17, 10, and 18. That's their output.
Yeah.
They have not been able to get Josh Jacobs going in the running game, which that whole offense is dependent upon. Right. So if Jimmy Garoppolo can go out there post concussion and throw the rock for 400 yards, then maybe they deserve to win. But you cannot let Josh Jacobs all of a sudden find a way to get going. Yeah. Because if he can't run the ball, that offense can't. They just can't. It can't function the way that it's supposed to.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Philip Gilbert tweeted out Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo a do not practice on Wednesday. But the Raiders do have optimism that he will clear the 5-step NFL concussion protocol in time to play in week 4 against the Chargers. So we'll see. They're optimistic. Of course they're optimistic. They want him out there, but only time will tell. And what we're here to tell you, folks, is to visit our Patreon, patreon.com/ChargerChat, to check out all the funny videos we put out there and all of the exclusive Patreon content we have there. And we have 2 new names to shout out this episode. First is Cooking with, I'm assuming this is Randy. I don't know if it's Rand. I'm going to say Randy. Cooking with Randy. Let me know. Just tell me. It's not the first time I mispronounced somebody's name. And I'm probably going to mispronounce this one. Enrique Caranco. Enrique Caranco. Garoliar, our 2 newest patrons. Thank you guys for joining the Patreon. Really appreciate it. As Kevin would say, welcome to the party, pal. But if you don't want to go to Patreon, that's totally fine. You can go on over to our regular website, chargerchat.com. Check out all the cool stuff we got over there, t-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. You can chat it up with other Charger Chatteteers in the member section and ask questions and ask Bolt Fam. So go check out chargerchat.com. If you ever thought, why the heck is my wireless bill so dang high, then let me tell you about Mint Mobile, who we're partnering with for today's episode. You might already know Mint Mobile if you've seen those funny ads from Ryan Reynolds, who's also an owner, but let me quickly tell you about how awesome their service is. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for as low as $15 a month, and you don't have to sacrifice any coverage, speed, or data. They're built on the nation's largest 5G network. They keep costs low because they sell direct to you online. They cut out all the retail stores and the salespeople and things like that. Why should you pay more than you have to for access to the same network? It's a good question. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code if you're interested in the best value in wireless. All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited nationwide talk and text, plus lightning-fast 5G and free mobile hotspot. Mint also offers a modern family plan that lets you set up a super affordable family plan with as little as 2 lines. Now, I've used Mint Mobile, and I gotta say, everything that they've talked about as far as switching over being extremely easy is 100% true. It was a super easy process, and then once I was switched over, I honestly didn't notice a difference in my performance. You know, all the apps that I typically used, like Twitter and YouTube and things like that, ran exactly the same as they normally did on my previous carrier. Like I said, switching to Mint is super easy. Thanks to their digital eSIM cards, you can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your own home. And if your phone isn't eSIM compatible, that's totally fine. Mint Mobile will ship you a new SIM card for free. It only takes about 15 minutes to switch, and Mint Mobile has great customer service if you need help. And right now, as a special limited time offer, you can get their unlimited plan, which is normally $30 a month, for just $15 a month. That's a 50% savings off their already super low price. It only takes 15 minutes to pay as low as $15 a month for your phone plan. It really is that simple. Use our link mintmobile.com/chargerchat to get started, or click the link down in the description, or scan our QR code. It really helps out the channel. And if you've already made the switch to Mint Mobile, let us know down in the comments. We'd love to hear about your experience with them. Thank you, Mint Mobile, for being our partner for this episode. Now back to the show. All right, folks, time to go on to the next segment. I'm always excited to announce this guy when it's just me and one other person, because then I get to play along. You know him, you love him. It's time for the Craig Experience. Oh yeah.
Come on in, man. Kick your feet up.
Oh.
Craig Experience.
Hello there.
Make yourself at home. Got some stuff to talk about, right? Moving on.
Man, oh man. Feels so much better doing these coming off of wins. You just get an opportunity to bask in the W, and you don't have to drudge up the energy and the positivity, because sometimes it can be quite difficult. This team can take you on rides and places that you don't necessarily want to go, but today that is not the case. We have a joyous occasion, and also it's Raider Week. So let's chat a little bit about what we have on deck. CC gang, the biggest of salutes into the rest of the boat fam. What is going on? You got Craig in Texas here with you on a week 4 edition of the Craig Experience. And wouldn't you know it, it's Raider Week. Know what else is awesome? I'm going to be there in SoFi. Looking forward to it. It's interesting. I'm already seeing all this stuff about how the Raiders are going to take over the stadium, but strangely enough, when you go look at their games, they seem to be outnumbered tremendously. See, we have an excuse. The Raiders have been practically everywhere. They've got fans all over, and they have a Los Angeles base, which explains a lot. But in Vegas, I would assume you have pretty decent fandom there. It's in very close proximity to LA. But y'all seem to be getting overrun every week. But have the nerve to talk about us. All good. Doesn't really matter. Not worried about it. But man, tell you what, thing I'm looking forward to the most is feeling the rush of SoFi Stadium. Been about a year or so, maybe longer, since I've been there, so definitely looking forward to the atmosphere, beautiful stadium, and this matchup. And some of the guys that have impressed thus far, we know the names: Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, having a career resurgence. But is it a resurgence? Because Slay has been doing Slay things for years now. But the name that, oh boy, definitely standing out, one that everyone's becoming quite familiar with, and I don't think anyone saw coming. SoCal guy, Mr. Tuli Tuipulotu, who's looked anything except the role of a rookie, or played anything except the role of a rookie, rather, in these first 3 matchups. And every week, he just keeps gaining momentum. And I've dubbed him the Polynesian Prodigy. Because dude, again, doesn't look like someone who's getting reps in the first year of his career. And a lot of the success the team is finding getting to the QB has to do with him. If he's not the guy making the plays, then he's assisting to those that are making them. And I mean, you could argue right now, to me at least, he appears to be a defensive rookie of the year candidate through the first 3 games. Got a long season ago. You know, there's that rookie wall thing, but there's something about Thule that's special. And just looking forward to what's to come. And also the most important thing is for the Chargers in general, finding the road to 500. Getting into a position of 2-2, going into your bye, things look a lot better. I mean, you know, when we were 0-2, pretty skeptical. Again, it was just 2 games. And even in this last one against the Vikings, it was another thriller because that is all the Chargers know how to do. Can never be easy. But if you can make short work of this Raiders squad, or however you get the W, then you're feeling a lot better with a week off to kind of, I guess, recalibrate a little, patch up some holes, make some adjustments to move on to the remainder of the year, because, you know, getting this early break isn't necessarily all that ideal, but let's see how it works out. You know, something else that I've been doing in my free time recently, just embracing peace and understanding. Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, is a very frustrating place because you see a lot of opinions from people, and you know, everybody has one and it's their right to. But with regard to the team and what the team needs to do, and sometimes they can be way far off, can seem super uninformed. And I get it. Not everybody who watches the team or football in general is in the weeds like, you know, myself or maybe you. But ultimately, what I really like to see is that people just, you know, do their homework before making outlandish statements or things about what the team needs to do just based off of what you feel, because feelings are not facts. Just one to grow on from your boy Craig. And also, with the team in general, some of the things that I'm looking for them to focus on in this game against the Raiders are simple things, like not forgetting to rely on the fundamentals. Tackling, catching the ball with your hands, just the basics, because you can't move on to the advanced stuff until you get the baseline down. And I don't find anyone on the squad to be remedial whatsoever. I just think that sometimes with the basics of the game, they can fall short here and there, but I'm sure they'll get it together. We're talking about professionals, and it's something that you have to do if you want to take the next steps to become a better team, a more consistent team, one of the best in the NFL. And these guys get paid but tons of money to do it. And I don't question whether or not it's associated with work ethic or anything like that. But some of the things that seem to slip through the cracks here and there from a technique standpoint can be fixed. And hate seeing it, you know, consistently week in and week out. But they've been able, well, last week they were able to overcome a few of those things. But just moving forward, I want to see it continue to get better. And also, getting the fundamentals down allows you to not have to be in fear of the repercussions of playing fast and free. If you got the basics down to a science, then you can do all the other stuff without having the things that should come natural to you hold you back. And you could say that the defense could probably be simplified a little bit, and maybe that would help. We've seen it work in the past, and it could be something that maybe is holding the secondary back. But tell you what, in the red zone last week, they seemed like they kind of pared things down, and it allowed them to be much more stout, which is why I didn't have a problem with that 4th down call, because if you just look at it based on what took place in the game, 2 out of 3 of the Vikings touchdowns came on plays of 30 plus yards. So look at it this way. They didn't convert. Ball essentially ends up in the red zone where they were able to, for the most part, keep the Vikings out of the end zone. Whereas the other 2 plays or other 2 touchdowns came on big passing plays. So what do you want to do? Give them a shorter field to work with, more condensed, less room to operate, probably, forces them to have to narrow the playbook down or give them 70 plus yards to work with and possibly get burnt by Justin Jefferson again or KJ Osborne or whoever. So I didn't have a problem with the 4th down call. The play call was the thing that I didn't love. So there's that. And man, the fans truly respect the players' efforts in righting the ship. Last week was a step in the right direction. I imagine that they'll continue on that trend this week. And again, well, I'm not going to say bring home the dub because they're at home. So, keeping the dub at the crib, protecting the house, and sending Raiders fans home, hopefully peacefully, because we know how they like to get down. Not a rare occasion that you see fisticuffs or handcuffs after the fact with people draped in Raiders paraphernalia. Y'all just be better, man. Come on. Like, are y'all born with rap sheets? I'm being petty, but anyway, man, that's it. That's all I want to talk to you guys about. Again, I will be in the building. If you see me, feel free to say what's up. I'll be there with my wife and our cousin, and we'll be enjoying the game. And she's kind enough to accompany me, even though she's a Saints fan, but she loves what I love, and she knows that the Chargers make me happy. So she's more than happy to be there in support. I'm not sure what she's going to be wearing, though, because she definitely can't wear a Saints jersey in SoFi. I can't have that. We'll figure all that out, though. Anyway, it's been your boy. Appreciate the time. Y'all know who it is. Mr. Bolt Gang or Do Not Bang, a.k.a. TOP_FLYT3 over on Twitter. And you can also catch me as a co-host of the Lightning Round podcast. So check us out over there as well. But until the next time, man, the Raiders. Hope y'all caught all the stuff that was going on if you're watching this on video that was leading into it. But if not, you probably should, or else a lot of what I said and the direction it went in probably makes absolutely no sense. Just sounds like I'm rambling. So check out the video if you are right now on the audio journey. But again, catch y'all later. Maybe see you on Sunday. Okay. Love you. Bye.
Well, there you go. Another awesome Craig experience. I'm so excited for you to go to SoFi.
Okay. Yeah, dude, enjoy those tickets. Man. No fighting. Don't get our tickets revoked.
No, he made mention like let's end this peacefully. Let's all shake hands and say good game.
Sometimes
good game.
I'll say when you're in there with those Raider fans, sometimes it's out of your control.
I know.
So be careful.
Yeah, that's gonna be so much fun, dude. It's gonna be a blast, and it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game. I love the Polynesian Prodigy.
I like it. How about Thule? I thought of another one. Okay. The Tongan Terror.
There's so many opportunities here.
So many opportunities. There really are.
Yeah, I mean,
because he does the T after all of his plays.
Does he? I didn't even notice that.
For Tonga, like the island. Yeah. So
wow.
I'm going with the Tongan Terror.
Okay. I got to keep an eye out for that now. That's a new celebration dance.
Yeah. No, it's good. By the way, we never got to see Braden Fajoko's celebration. Maybe his cousin could get on the phone.
Be like, hey,
scores
what are you
a touchdown.
God. Yeah. Come on. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Craig, I love everything that you had there, man. And
thanks, dude.
Thank you for that. Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Right now,
possible, man. Like,
who's better right now?
Yeah, give me names. I want to know. I want to know who's going to try to steal the crown from Mr. Tui Pelotu. But all good points, Craig. Thank you. Have fun. Send pictures. I want to see all the fun you're having out there at SoFi. And if you see Craig, say hi, chat him up, give him a beer for crying out loud, and give him a K-Love bye or something like that. But now, folks, it's time to go on to the next segment. It's our good friend Jason Reed over at the Bolt Beat.
Ba-dum-bum.
Welcome back to another edition of the Bolt Beat. As always, I am your host, the acting editor over at boltbeat.com, Jason Reed. You can check out all my work at BB_Chargers on X, my own personal Twitter at EatYourReedies, or our beautiful articles over at boltbeat.com. Week 4, heading into the first divisional matchup of the year against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Chargers are 1-2. Last week when we talked, there was some concern that this would not be the situation heading into week 4, that the Chargers could potentially be 0-3, and they were one interception at the goal line away from that becoming a reality. I said I would wear all black in this Bolt Beat segment, almost as a funeral, not realizing we were playing the Raiders. I probably would not have done that because I could not wear all black on Raiders week. What was I thinking? But it doesn't matter because the Chargers are 1-2. They beat the Minnesota Vikings. Justin Herbert had arguably the best game of his young career, definitely the best game he's had since 2021. Just picked apart the blitzing Minnesota Vikings and had himself a day. So the Chargers are 1-2. Some fans still aren't buying in, and I get it. Yes, the defense still didn't look great in week 3. Yes, there's now a laundry list of injuries for the Chargers, looking like it is the 2022 season again. But we do have the week 5 bye. The Chargers have an extra week to get healthy, and hopefully that can kind of be a little bit of a soft reset, and then we can head into the rest of the season with 4 games under their belts and 13 games to play with better health. Injuries are obviously going to happen. Best wishes to Mike Williams. Hopefully everything's fine in his recovery. That might be his last ever game played with the Chargers just because of salary cap reasons, how much they're over the cap next year. 4 players account for over 50% of the cap. Someone kind of has to be cut. And Mike Williams' deal, even before it was restructured, was always signed as kind of like a 2-year deal with the ability to get out of the 3rd year. So that might be it for Mike Williams and the Chargers. If it is, from all of us, thank you for your contributions. Mike Williams has been very fun to watch. Hopefully he can recover quickly and, have a very long NFL career after this, whether it's with the Chargers or not. Moving on, Chargers situation, with or without Mike Williams, they're still trying to make a playoffs. They're still trying to make a run in the playoffs and, make a run to the Super Bowl. Right now, that seems like it would not happen in the wildest dreams, but hey, it could happen. We've seen crazier things happen in the league. And I just want to touch on the Chargers record and kind of the landscape of the league, because I feel like a lot of fans, even though the Chargers won this game and they're 1-2, there's a lot of, pessimism about a 1-2 team making the playoffs and making a run. And I think Charger fans need to take a look around at the rest of the AFC and kind of realize what else has been happening and realize that the Chargers are actually in a much better situation than, they realize. Granted, it would have been better if they're 2-1 or 3-0, but the ship is by no means sailed, as there is a lot of teams that are underperforming and have a 1 or 2 record or worse thus far in the season. Just in the AFC alone, these are teams with 2 or more wins. You have the Buffalo Bills, the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Ravens, the Indianapolis Colts, Kansas City Chiefs, Pittsburgh Steelers, Miami Dolphins. 7 teams. Those would be your 7 playoff teams if the season were to end today. Some of those teams aren't going to last the whole time. The Colts, great story at 2-1. Seems unlikely that they're going to be in the playoff hunt at the end of the season. Even the Steelers, 2-1, kind of, negative 14-point differential, ugly defensive win in week 2. Then they got to play the Raiders in week 3. Who knows if they're still in the picture come week 18. The Browns and the Ravens, one of those teams might fall off. Deshaun Watson looks like he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, but Baltimore does have an excellent defense, and they should be actually treated as a really good team. Baltimore always has injuries that happen. A lot can happen in the course of the season. They're already seeing some of those injuries happen this year. So, anything could happen. But at least the Colts and the Steelers, are teams that could fall off of that 2-1 pedestal, which again is only 1 game better than 1-2. Let's not forget that. And then we look at the 1-2 teams, and you see a lot of teams that were expected to be competing with the Chargers for the playoff spots. You have the Bengals, you have the Titans, you have the Jets, you have the Patriots. You even have teams like the Jaguars, the Raiders, the Texans. Broncos 0-3. But you look at all those other 1-2 teams and you just look at it from a long-term point of view for the entire season, and I still like the Chargers more than those teams, even accepting the fact that the defense might not be very good this season. The Jets, they don't have Aaron Rodgers. Zach Wilson is the worst starting quarterback this league has seen in quite some time. They're not going to make it anywhere. the Patriots, Mac Jones might not be much better. They have a great defense, great head coaching, but how far can you go with Mac Jones, especially having to play the Dolphins and the Bills 4 times a year? You have the Raiders look horrible. The Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence doesn't look like Trevor Lawrence. I've always been a little bit on the let's slow down with Trevor Lawrence train, but they should figure it out. They probably won't be wild card competition because they'll win their division, but still, they're struggling. The Bengals have looked really bad. They have a minus 21 point differential. Their offense looks horrible. Their defense is keeping them in games. And, it hasn't been the Joe Burrow that we've come to expect. And, of course, every excuse in the book is happening for Joe Burrow, but that didn't happen when Justin Herbert had fractured rib cartilage. And then the Titans, Ryan Tannehill had his best game in quite some time against the Chargers, but what's the validity of that? How long is that going to last? And you just look at the point differentials of these 1 and 2 teams. Patriots -7, Jets -19, Texans -7, Raiders -32, Jaguars -18, Titans -22, Bengals -21. The Chargers are easily the best of that bunch at -1. Yes, they are still in the minus, but they've lost 2 really close games and have won a close game. They're only 5 points worse than the Colts, who are 2-1. They're 13 points better than the 2-1 Steelers. So there is still some life here. And I'm not giving up on the Chargers season because they're 1 and 2, especially when we look around at the rest of the league and see what could happen. I think I said last week, this might be a kind of season where the Chargers are up and down and they finish 9-8. And we have to hope that's good enough for making the playoffs. With the way the AFC is shaking up so far, I think it might be good enough. So week 4, huge game, moving to 2-2 could be big, going to the bye with some momentum. And you have 2 really tough games heading out of the bye with the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs. In a perfect world, obviously the Chargers win both. In a realistic good world, they would split those, be 3-3, get to play the dumpster fire Chicago Bears on primetime, 4-3. And then you're halfway through the season, essentially. You got 10 more games and you just got to go 6-4 in the last 10. And that actually gets you to 10 wins. So it sounds a lot more doable when you say it like that. Of course, before the season, when we're expecting big things, 2 straight losses to start the year always seems a lot worse than it actually is. So that's my take. Heading in to week 4 against the Raiders, my betting picks of the week. So far in the season, we are 7-11. We went 3-3 last week. We split. We hit the 2 non-Chargers picks. Both the Steelers hit against the Raiders and the Lions hit against the Falcons. Excuse me, I forgot for a sec there. And then we also hit on Jordan Addison's receiving prop total. He went over 49.5. I believe he finished with 52 yards. We actually still finished negative units, negative 0.05 units, pretty much broke even, but that's how Vegas even wins money. Even when you break even, you still lose a little bit. When you're playing with big units, 0.05 can actually be a decent chunk of money. So on the season, like I said, 7-11, minus 4.3 units on the year. Picks this week, we got a favorite, a dog, we got the Chargers-Raiders pick, and then we got 3 props for the Chargers-Raiders. I'll start with my dog of the week. There's actually a lot of dogs I like. I like Miami as a dog. I think they're the best team in the league, and if you're giving me +3 for the best team in the league, I'm going to take that every day of the week. I like other teams as well. I like the team I like the most, though, and for some books, it's a pick 'em, but over on FanDuel, they are the dogs. I'm going to go with the LA Rams against the Indianapolis Colts, +1.5. It's -120. There's a little bit extra juice there. The Colts are 2-1. I get it's a great story. The Rams they're 1-2, and it was before the season. There was this preconceived notion that they were going to be horrible. I mean, but you look at the games they played, they whacked Seattle. They were in a competitive game against the 49ers, and they were also in a competitive game against the Bengals. The 49ers and Bengals, a lot of people picked to represent the AFC and NFC in the Super Bowl, and the Rams were right there with them. I think this is horribly priced. Yes, the Colts are at home, so that's naturally going to give them some extra juice. But at the end of the day, I like Sean McVay and Matt Stafford against either a rookie quarterback in Anthony Richardson or Gardner Minshew. This is kind of a must-win for the Rams. I don't think it's quite kitchen sink territory, but I think they really need to get a game back here. They know this is a game they have to win if they're going to win 9 or 10 games to make the playoffs, and they're going to treat it as such. I think not only is it a Rams win, I think it could be a big win. I might personally add some little juice to the Rams and maybe take them like -4.5, -5 if I can, because I really like this line for the Rams. My favorite of the week, I'm just going to call this the don't overthink it favorite. I'm taking the Chiefs -9.5. You always have to be careful with these big dogs. The Dallas Cowboys reminded us of that last week when they lost the Arizona Cardinals outright as 12-point favorites. That being said, I'm not scared of the New York Jets as a big dog at +9.5. Zach Wilson is terrible. The Chiefs actually have a good defense this year, and there's the Taylor Swift mania that is probably going to continue in New York. It's Patrick Mahomes' first time playing in New York, and I just think, it's prime time. The Chiefs are going to do Chiefs things, and it sucks to say as a Chargers fan, I obviously hope the Chiefs lose, but I think at the end of the day, they're probably winning this game by 2 touchdowns. How does Zach Wilson score enough points? Unless Patrick Mahomes throws a pick 6, there's like a special teams touchdown, a fumble touchdown. That feels like the only way this pick doesn't hit. because Mahomes is good for 27 points, even against a good Chiefs defense. And like, do we really see Zach Wilson scoring more than 17? Probably not. I'm going to take Chiefs minus 9.5. For the Raiders Chargers pick of the week, look, I'm going to keep the trend going. I said last week I was reverse jinxing myself. I was going to pick against the Chargers. That way they would win the game for my fandom. I'm going to run it back this week and do the exact same thing. Test the theory. See if it has any validity. I'm going to pick Raiders plus 5.5 for the sake of the podcast. But no, I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it for the reverse jinx. And hopefully the Chargers not only beat the Raiders, but cover this. I will take the L out of the 6 picks. Hopefully I go 5-0 in the other 5. And Chargers are 2-2, and we move on. So I'll take Raiders plus 5.5, but just know it's for an extra reason. It's not necessarily because I think the Raiders are going to cover plus 5.5. The 3 props for this game, I really like Justin Herbert's over on the passing yards. Sometimes I stay away from lines like this because it always feels like these books kind of just fish for fans to be like, oh yeah, of course my quarterback will throw for that many yards. And because that's usually the line of thinking for fans of any team, and then they bet the over and then ends up not hitting. Over 281.5. He's thrown for 300 yards 2 weeks ago. He threw for over 400 yards last week. This is a bad Raiders secondary. Austin Eckler's status is still up in the air. Even if he plays, I would imagine he's on a snap count. And it doesn't seem like the Chargers fully buy into the run game with Joshua Kelly as the lead back. So I think we're going to see a lot of Herbert passing attempts again. I think they're going to try to get both Joshua Palmer and Quentin Johnston big reps in a real game before the bye week. That way they have something to build on, with Palmer being the wide receiver 2 and Johnson being the wide receiver 3. So I think we're going to see Herbert with another 334 passing yards in this game. I also like Chargers over 27.5 points. Win, lose, or draw, this Chargers team can score points, and this is a bad Raiders defense. It's pretty much just as bad as the Chargers defense, unless the Chargers shoot themselves in the foot, which thus far this season they have not been doing. Only 1 turnover through 3 games. They should be able to score 4 touchdowns worth of points. I'm taking the over 27.5 at plus 105 odds. The Herbert is at minus 115 odds, by the way, for the passing yards. And then the flyer prop of the week, if it hits, it makes the whole rest of the week profitable. We're not expecting to hit these. We're expecting to hit about 1 out of every 4, and we haven't hit one yet. So hopefully this is the week it hits. I'm going to go with the Raiders' first drive result. We're going to go with either a turnover on downs, or a safety. The Raiders, this is a must-win game. This is a kitchen sink game, if you may. And I think whether it's Jimmy G, Aiden O'Connell, whoever's starting at quarterback for the Raiders, they're going to look to get points on the board fast. They're going to look to get hopefully a touchdown on the board, hopefully for them, of course, on their first drive. And I could totally see a situation where the Raiders have 4th and 1 from the 23-yard line. They go for it. They want the points, and the Chargers make the stop, and it's a turnover on downs. I feel like that's the most realistic of the 3, but I would also love, a pick 6, a fumble recovery, anything of those lines, even a safety. Start the game with a safety. That would be something. DeAndre Carter trying to make his old team pay, and he has a bad return out of the end zone, and then there's a penalty, backs him up. You know how it could happen. So I'm going to go turnover on downs, or safety. Raiders first drive. That's plus 550. Pretty juicy odds. Of course, it's obviously not the most likely scenario. That's why it has such good odds. But if that alone hits and we lose every other bet, we still profit for the week. So that's the logic there. That's my 6 picks. Hoping the Chargers can get to 2-2 on the season. It's a brand new season after the bye week. And like I said, if you're 2-2 and you're just trying to get to 10 wins, all you have to do after that is go 8-5. And that's possible for the Chargers. I still think it is, at least, especially with some of the teams later in the season not being as tough as initially perceived. Next week's the bye. We get a little break from Chargers football. Our blood pressure gets to be, come back down a little bit. And then we're right back at it after the bye week with a primetime game. I'm excited. In the meantime, let's get back to the Charger Chat, guys.
Well, there you go, folks. Mr. Jason Reed over at the Bolt Beat giving some solid bets there. I would love that.
I'm happy for you that you didn't have to wear all black on Raider Week. That's a tough.
That would have been rough, dude.
Yeah, you don't ever live that down.
Keep an eye on your calendar before you make broad proclamations that you're going to wear all black, especially when it's Raider Week. But glad you didn't have to do that, Jason. Yeah, dude, we're 1-2. We're only 3 weeks into this.
We're 1 game back of first place in the AFC West.
There's only 3 teams that are undefeated right now.
Yeah.
And the tide can easily shift between now and the end of the season. So the Chargers only having a -1 point differential, this team is way better than as all these other teams that are 1-2 right now.
Yeah.
They're it's still a big chance, folks, for this team to really make an effort here and go into that playoff run. We're so far away from it, though. I mean, we're only going into week 4 for crying out loud, and we still got a bye week to get through. So I like the idea of Palmer and Johnston getting kind of a heavy workload against the Raiders, just because now that we know Mike Williams ain't coming back, this is an opportunity now for Palmer and Johnston to really step up and really, especially for Johnston. The guy's only gotten like 10 yards every game so far. I would love to see more of him getting mixed in and just to see what he can do, because we saw him get a touchdown in the preseason. We saw him make plays in the preseason, and that was with Easton Stick as your quarterback. I want to see what we can do with Justin Herbert as the quarterback and running some of those routes.
Yeah, it will be fun. It will be fun to see, but I don't think we're going to see a lack of Keenan Allen contribution because we're going into a bye and you want to see what you got.
Yeah, I
think Keenan's still the guy. Obviously, Quentin's touches are going to go up significantly with Mike not there, which I think is exciting. I don't think it's like
exciting.
It's a bummer for Mike. Absolutely. Like 100%. It sucks. I feel so bad for the dude, but I think it's just an opportunity for our offense coordinator to prove himself again. Like he can get creative and find ways to take advantage of what Quentin Johnston is.
Yeah. Very exciting to see. And I love the idea of the first drive for the Raiders being a turnover or safety. I mean, come on. That would be so much fun. Good. All right, Mr. Reed, thank you for another awesome Bolt beat. And I think that's pretty much going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. But before we go, we've got Bolt predictions to make. And thankfully, Kevin was smart enough. He thought ahead and made his own Bolt prediction. Let's see what it is.
Bolt prediction time. I'm so excited for this game. Raider week is my favorite week. Let's beat the shit out of them. It's going to be 35-17 Chargers. Darius Davis is going to take one back. I'm going to call it till it happens. Justin goes for over 350. Let's go. I'll see you guys on Sunday on Twitter and social medias. Let's go.
All right. Nice bold prediction there, Kevin. I love it. You keep riding that hand until it hits. Darius Davis running back a touchdown. I like it. Kyle, what do we think?
I'm sticking with my same score now for the rest of the year until it stops working. 55-17 Chargers. And I'm going with Thule having 3 sacks in this game.
Oh,
just because that would be fun to see. Just him continue to dominate.
Oh, man. Yes, 3 sacks for Mr. Tui Pelotu. Love that. I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with 31-18. Just because that seems to be the ceiling for the Raiders. They can't seem to get much more than that.
Yep.
And I'm going to say this has to be the game that Khalil Mack comes back and gets a sack.
I don't know. You would think.
I don't know if I want to go quite 3 sacks like you. I think Thule.
Come on, be brave, be bold.
All right, 5 sacks. Khalil.
Yeah. Okay, great. Good. I like it.
All right. One of the if any of these wild accusations, these wild predictions hit,
that's what makes it fun. There's nothing on the line for us.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
All right.
Watch Khalil Mack hit 5 sacks this week.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
I'm gonna cry if that happens. All right, folks. Bolt predictions in the books, and I think that's gonna do it for us here at Charger Chat. Any final thoughts there, Kyle?
I got nothing. We missed you, Kev. Excited to hopefully get an instant reaction on Sunday with all the whole gang back together.
Please, that would be great. I hope you haven't peed your pants at Halloween Horror Nights. I hope you haven't screamed louder than Josie, but hope at the very least you haven't. Yeah, hope you probably. But all right, folks, that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
K, love you, bye.
K, love you, bye.